Hello, today I want to talk to you about sleep and the importance of sleep. Now, in a previous broadcast, I had talked about the effects of sleep on weight loss, and your sleep does have a great impact on your weight. But today I'm talking about kind of your sleep health. So, sleep is one of those things that we need every day, but the quality and the quantity is different really amongst individuals. So, but the sleep has a huge impact on our overall well-being, not just our weight, but our has an impact on many other areas of our physical health, such as our mental health, our immune system, other uh, functioning things in the body. Sleep is essential. So I want to talk a little bit about sleep. So sleep, it's really something we all need, but unfortunately in today's world, it's kind of a badge of honor to talk about how much little sleep I get. And it's unfortunate because this is really detrimental to your overall health and your productivity. So, sleep, the average adult needs 7 to 9 hours, and you really should try to get that. Secondarily, sleep is in cycles. So it's really kind of 5 stages, if you will. It's kind of over a 90-minute period. That's one of the reasons that when you wake up, you can feel different when you wake up, depending on if you're woken up during one of these different cycles. But the important thing is try to get first the 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and then what can you do to improve the quality of that sleep? Well, the first thing I want to talk about is sleep deprivation. So do we even care? Well, sleep deprivation is really when we don't have enough sleep, and there's lots of reasons that impact that. Often we'll not get a lot of sleep during the work week, and then we'll say we're going to catch up on the weekend, and that's not really how it works. Your body needs consistent, kind of repetitive, good sleep, and it's not like you're spending from a bank and then on the weekend you're going to make a bigger deposit to replenish your sleep. It doesn't work that way. You can't catch up on sleep. So having a plan of sleeping in on the weekend and things like that really isn't a good plan. Another thing that affects your sleep is worrying, and basically if you're worrying all the time, and it's going to cause you to interfere with your sleep. So you need to develop some habits that help decrease the amount of worrying you're doing. Simple stress, anxiety, and depression, those illnesses themselves have a great impact on sleep. They have a very negative impact on your sleep. But in addition to that, a lot of the medications used to treat those things also negatively impact your sleep. So there's things you need to do to work on managing your sleep, if or your anxiety and depression and stress, that will help minimize this. And then the next item that really affects your sleep is you keep getting woken up, such as your sleeping environment is very noisy, it's disruptive, things like that. You want to get into these cycles and let your body complete these sleep cycles. That's real essential to your health. So, if you're living in a very noisy environment, you need to do some things to help reduce that distraction. And then if you travel a lot, if you're traveling across time zones, that can be really disruptive to your sleep pattern because your body doesn't really know what it's supposed to be doing in relation to sleep. And then various medical conditions impact your sleep. So if you have breathing problems, it can make it so you don't sleep well. If you have pain, every time you roll over or turn, you wake up because of the pain. So medical conditions affect your sleep. But in addition to that, a lot of the medications people get put on have a negative impact on their sleep. So what does it look like if you're having sleep deprivation or you're not getting enough sleep? Well, obviously you're tired all the time. So that's a big red flag. If you just throughout the day just are tired, or you need stimulants to be awake, such as excessive caffeine or something like that. You don't have any energy. Another big red flag is mood changes. So if your mood fluctuates significantly, 1 minute you're in a great mood, 1 minute you're in a horrible mood, that can be an indication of poor sleep. Then obviously that can affect your social life too. So social problems is another indicator of fatigue or sleep deprivation. And then if you just can't concentrate, if you find yourself drifting away, unable to focus and do tasks you want to do and get done, but you just can't seem to get the mental focus to do that, another indication you're probably not getting enough sleep. And then obviously any type of fatigue while driving. Driving is notorious for kind of challenging those that are sleep deprived simply because it's kind of a mundane task and you can easily fall asleep. So any type of fatigue while driving if you find yourself rolling down the window, sticking your head out the window, things like that, you probably have a sleep problem and need to work on uh, getting better sleep. Well, those are kind of the symptoms. So obviously the consequences are basically you could hurt yourself or hurt others, falling asleep when you shouldn't be falling asleep. But then also there's a huge, physical impact to your body and your health and wellness. So sleep is really important. And then finally, if you're not sleeping well, it does affect your performance. So, if people are cutting back their hours of sleep because they're high performers, the reality of it is if they actually got adequate sleep, their performance would probably improve. Well, so what can you do to fight this or fight your sleep deprivation or fatigue? It's kind of broken down into kind of different buckets. There's your personal habits, there's the sleeping environment, and then the activities you do to get ready for bed. And so in your personal habits, a good consistent schedule is very important. Kind of going to bed and getting up at the same time is extremely important. And then obviously you want to make sure that it includes the 7 to 9 hours of sleep in that time period. You want to also try avoiding naps, so that you're saving your sleep time for when you're actually supposed to be sleeping. There's a difference between sleep and rest. And so, you want to make sure that your time for sleep is actually the time for sleep. Alcohol and caffeine should be avoided 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed. If you exercise regularly, that actually helps with your sleep. It basically relaxes, tense muscles, kind of releases some endorphins. That's going to help you really feel better. And then it's just kind of a mental break too. And exercise is great to kind of give you that mental break from life that also affects your stress and well-being. So, and then obviously eating healthy. And everyone has an individual diet, but the reality of it is eating healthy is essential to your health. And so I'm not going to go into a big, this isn't a nutrition talk, but really you need to be eating healthy. Now let's talk about kind of your sleep environment itself. So one thing is you gotta have good bedding, and what I mean by that is I'm amazed of the quality of people's beds. I mean, you're going to spend a third of your life in that. So have a good mattress, good bedding, things like that, something that's comfortable for you, but a quality product. Next, you got to have a comfortable room temperature. And typically it's been proven that the colder the room, like 68 degrees, actually it promotes better sleeping health. So not super cold, but not warm either. So, that finding that right temperature is very important. And then do what you can to minimize or eliminate noise and light, uh, heavy curtain, things like that help with that. But whatever you got to do to eliminate noise and light. And then really reserve your bed for sleeping and intimacy. You shouldn't be watching TV in bed. You shouldn't be eating. You want to kind of program your mind that when you're in the bed, that means it's time to go to sleep. So what are some things you can do when you're getting ready for bed? Like I said already, is a ritual, same time, you're going to bed, getting up at the same time. You may want to do something that is relaxation before bed, meditation or mindfulness or something you find relaxing. You may want a very light snack. You don't want to eat heavy before bed, but a little snack might help you a little bit. And then obviously try to really decompress and kind of really relax. But then secondarily, we hear a lot about blue light, but light in general stimulates the brain. So, turn off your devices, your phones, things like that. Try to kind of disconnect from your devices, an hour or two before bed. That's going to help you immensely. Now, there's different things you can also use, some of the herbs, like chamomile, passion flower, valerian root, things like that can help with your sleep. And then there are some supplements, everyone knows about melatonin, but there's GABA, and then something called 5-HTP, which is a precursor to melatonin. But these are some supplements that you might want to consider with helping you sleep. But overall, the important thing here is really focus on your sleep. It's not, we've got to kind of change this mentality of well, I only got 4 hours of sleep, therefore I'm great. And that's really not good. It's really negatively impacting your life, both in productivity, but more importantly in your health and wellness. So it's really important, let's work on getting adequate sleep. This is something that I struggle with, but I'm passionate about trying to improve on myself because I know how important it is. So continue to kind of plug away and work on it. Don't get frustrated by the down points, learn from the down points and celebrate the wins. So remember, this is about your health and wellness. Remember, you got it.